What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Let me just say this. You guys know I'm over here in Africa as a foreigner, as an African American living here. And what is very common, I would say in Uganda, I've been to Kenya, in the black community, is that our communities, our business communities are typically ran by foreigners. And if you look at the liquor stores in the black community, you look at grocery stores, even I hear about barbershops in New York City are more Dominican now. Foreigners run a lot of the black economy. It's the same thing here in Uganda. You will see a lot of Indians. That is very true of Kenya. In West Africa, you see a number of Lebanese, and then there are Chinese, right? And so what tends to happen is that those people who rule over you economically tend to try to believe they know more about your group than you know. And black people tend to have a problem with this fundamentally. We like the development or the lack of development, whatever we may say, of these groups coming into the community. Like we go and spend money there. We go to their dollar stores. But, we just don't like the fact that they are there, right? And so whenever they start having some level of entitlement or start treating me or start treating us in some level way that we don't like, we start to want to have animosity towards these groups. And this is what happens with Aries Spears. Aries Spears was at Vlad TV, and then a argument came up over hip hop. I wouldn't play it, but Vlad always copyright strikes. So what he was talking about pretty much was, listen, I don't like Aries Spears. He's saying, I don't like drill music of today. I don't like any of the music. If I have to, any good music, I have to really look for it. So Vlad was like, well, I love drill music. I love the music of today. And, hip hop, Doja Cat just had a #1 song in hip hop. And Aries Spears was like, well, the 90s was full of #1 songs. And Vlad was like, no, it wasn't. Okay. And he was also like, hip hop was the #1 genre in the 90s and 2000s. Vlad said, no, it wasn't. So they stopped the podcast. Then they found out that indeed Aries Spears was right. There were a number of #1 hip hop songs in that time frame. Then we also found out that hip hop was the #1 genre in music by 1999. So Aries Spears told him, apologize to me, N-word. Stop thinking you know more about black culture than black people. You know your facts like you know your rhythm. F out of here. Now, this has also happened with Tyrese. He said the same thing that, basically Vlad offered him $10,000 and, he turned down his Culture Vulture show. And, hasn't he used black people enough? Hasn't he leased off black culture enough? Okay, and that's what you always hear from blacks when somebody who's culture vulturing is wrong about your community and they don't know your community. They think they know your community, but you have an attitude about it. It's the same thing the Africans say about other people that I've heard, the Chinese, the Indians, and Lebanese. But then here's the question that I want to talk about. And this is going to hit all through the black world. Why are you not doing it? Why are you not in the business of doing it? Since you fundamentally have such a problem with Vlad and these other culture vultures, why don't you do something in your community? Because I'm gonna tell you one thing: black people are silly enough, and I'm gonna tell you, black people will tell you up and down, I'm not hanging out with them. I can't trust those people. Them people they jealous, they crazy. They'll tell you that all day. Okay. Nah, I'm not dealing with it. I can't trust them inward. I'm trying to get the heck up out of here. Okay. Then soon as somebody else come into your community and set up shop and do whatever it is that you won't do and start prospering and they start getting money, now all of a sudden you start plotting, you start getting mad, you start getting facetious, you start wanting to, hold up their progress and all that. You start getting upset because it ain't you doing it, but they're doing it. So now you're mad at them. Now you have an attitude with them. Now you have a problem with them. But the question is, why don't you do it? See, the thing is, Vlad has done something that's very shocking to black people. He's invested more in putting out black stuff than we have. Now we have a problem with that. We do not. I can tell you, black folks don't like that. We need, listen to what I'm saying, we need all black failures to justify how much we hate each other. Now, when somebody come across and show us that they can build a platform off of us, we really hate that because it's proof in the knowledge that, you know what, it can happen. It's proof in that it can happen. It's proof that you don't do it, so somebody else did it. So then once that is, because you have such a negative towards your own group, now all of a sudden that person's a culture vulture and they're right. But then why don't you get in there and do something about it? Because you don't want to do the hard work. Let me tell you this. You think that, and I've dealt with this too, living here. I've dealt with certain levels of sometimes robbery, not robbery, I would say theft, scammed, things like that. You're going to deal like that kind of stuff with black people. And you think that whites don't deal with that? Asians don't deal with that in the black community? They get robbed. They get scammed. All of this happens in the black world. But they're not going to be intimidated by the opportunity. They're going to see, the thing about it is when we want to do something in the black community, we give up quick. We something happened and we want to stop. And you haven't understood the assignment. Okay? We haven't understood the assignment. But now we know that that's the case. We want to have attitude with people. Stop having an attitude with Vlad. I understand, but I have attitude with him too here and there. But start having an attitude with yourself because you didn't do the work. It's your responsibility to go into the community, and some of the brothers are doing that and sisters are doing that. You go to the community, you start the business up, you make the business successful. Then you get the money, you invest into your group, you cleaned up your own people, and then you open up the door and you keep them other people out there who don't like you. I already told you that Vlad is already on Drake head about not talking about the war with Palestine right now. Because again, why? Vlad don't represent you. He represent his group. And you get so mad when somebody is taking money from your group or they earning money from your group and they don't know your group. They don't know your group because you ain't never made them know them. Why should I have to know you and your people in your group? For what reason should I do so? You ain't never gave me no reason why I need to. So I won't. You're not serious. These folks don't respect you. Vlad that made millions of dollars off the black community. Why do he need to take y'all serious now? For what? Take you seriously for what? That's the one I want to know. Take you seriously for what? I wouldn't take you seriously either if I was him. But you get mad because nobody won't take you seriously. Get mad at yourself. Once you start getting mad at yourself and you start working with your group to achieve something, then what's going to happen is this is going to be easier for us to achieve. All right? But not until that time. And black people will have to understand you have a lot of work to do. Stop blaming our issues on other people. We need to really stop that. We need to stop being mad about that because these other groups don't take us seriously, because they culture vulture us, because they got wrong information. They don't understand the community. They ain't supposed to understand the community. For what? They're not here to help us. They're here to help them. So where in the world do you get somewhere where you believe that somebody owe you something, Negro, if you don't sit your ass down? Don't nobody owe you nothing? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are where somebody owe you a goddamn thing from them other groups at all? They not playing with you. They're not here to care about your feelings. They're not trained to care about your feelings. You need to care about your own people. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. I appreciate you for all you, Celebrity Bell. We're out.